to talk about is why pain is our friend and what it's actually meant to do for you. Okay, so I want everybody to take note of any pain that you're experiencing right now in any way and put it on a sliding scale between 1 and 10 because I want to show you how you can heal yourself. So, go make a mental note of where you're at in your pain. And it can be anything, just kind of feel around and see like your tension in your shoulders or in your hips from sitting, whatever it is. This can also be emotional pain. But pain comes from, it's our higher selves trying to communicate with us what's going on, and they're trying to give us guidance, but we're not hearing. So if we could just suddenly become enlightened and hear what they're saying, that would be a shortcut. It'd be great, because they would say, okay, so you got to get over that guy, and you have to move through this, and you got to forget about that. You got to quit thinking that. You got to quit doubting this. And it would be so much easier, because we'd go, oh, okay, we'd know what to fix, right? And we'd just move right through it. But what's happened is, if they can't talk to us, their only other option is to put pain in our bodies. So that we're like, ouch, it's like pinching you, you know? It's kind of makes you pay attention, and the stronger the pain is, the more that it builds, you know, then it really starts to yell. And unfortunately, what we typically do is we go to the doctor's office, or we call a friend and say, all right, I'm having this horrible pain. What can you do for me? What should I take? What have you done when you've had a headache? Do you take ibuprofen, or do you take, it's usually some kind of a pill or something like that. But I've been doing energy work for a while now, and I've come to realize that we can heal ourselves. And if I'm healing somebody, which I do, it's a placebo, and you're actually doing it yourself. So that's kind of how it works. So one thing that you can do is you can start, if you kind of have to come up with your own code. I'm kind of giving big secrets here. You kind of have to come up with your own code as to what certain colors mean, what certain shapes mean, what the sides of the body mean, and then you start kind of doing guesswork with yourself and your higher self. So, like I scan people's bodies, and I look for any color. Like, their body is totally transparent to me when I look at them first. And then as I'm scanning down their body, I can see certain colors. And that color represents a blockage. And that blockage is an emotional blockage, and that blockage will eventually turn into pain somewhere on the body. It may not even be where it's showing up, but it'll eventually end up being physical pain, if it's not already. So if you can learn to scan your own body, you can start to get to the bottom of these issues. I don't know, is this over the head, or are you guys getting what I'm saying so far? Okay, cool. All right. So I'm going to teach you how I heal people, and then you can do it with yourself. So let me first build your faith, I suppose, by working on somebody who has pain. Who has pain? Who has physical pain right now? You have tightness in your shoulders. Okay, what do you have?
I have a pain right here in my back.
Okay. Well, on the scale of 1 to 10, where is it at?
If I move a certain way, probably an 8.
Oh.
But otherwise, it's probably like a 5 or 6.
Okay, yeah, that's good pain.
Yeah, it is.
That means that you've been ignoring it. That means that when your higher self has been trying to tell you what's going on, you're like, la 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 la. I'll just take a pill. Just take a pill.
It's true.
Okay, so I'm gonna look at it real quick, and I'm just gonna ask intuitively. Just ask, where is this? As I'm asking this, it just automatically came up blue, and it came up. It's like in the middle of your stomach, but a little bit to your left. So it's like right between your stomach and the outside. It's like right there, and it's blue. So I either could be making this up, I could be totally making it up, or I'm being shown this, or vice versa. If you know quantum mechanics, it could go either direction. We could be creating it. So the blue looks like it's kind of pulsating a little bit, And it's like in the form of a ball. So what do balls tell us? It's a control ball. Blue for me, because I've written up a bunch of colors or memorized a bunch of colors and what they represent. Blue is control. And the left side is female, so it is a little bit more on the left side. And your legs are used for what? Walking, pretty much? Taking us somewhere, right? So also the left has to do with the past. The right is now. So if we look at the clues that we have so far, now I'm teaching you, I'm showing you how I'm doing it on you, but I'm going to show you how to do it on yourself as well. So we have the clues. It's a pulsating ball, so it's not like a solid ball. It's fuzzy and it's kind of pulsating. So we have that clue. It's blue, it's control, it's on the female side, and it's on the past. So what you have that you're trying to control, you already know what this is?
Yeah.
Okay, so go ahead and say it.
I was deciding if I should go back to teaching, and like, I feel like I need to do that because I have like this. If I don't get hired by, let's say, next Tuesday, I won't have a 90-day, and then it'll waste a year, and so it's like, I quit this past year, so that's in the past.
Okay.
That's the past thing.
Okay.
And I've just really been struggling with it.
And it's throbbing in you.
Yeah. Well, it's actually been hurting for like 2 weeks.
Okay.
And this has been worse.
And this has been hurting as you've been having this thought. So do you see the correlation? Her higher self is sending this message while she's been what? Taking ibuprofen?
And I got the massage, and he tried it. Even like actually.
And you said it didn't really hurt. It didn't really help. It didn't really help.
No.
Okay. So for one, because it was addressing just the physical, it's not going to resolve itself unless you actually address the emotional issue underneath it. So.
Good question.
Yeah.
The location of the pain, what does it mean?
The location can be different. Sometimes, like one time I worked on somebody, and it was an emotional issue that was like up in her shoulder or something. Ended up curing her back. So it doesn't necessarily, all it's doing is giving you a clue.
Okay.
It's giving you a clue as to what's going on depending on the symbology you believe. So you could actually make up your own system. You could say, I choose, if you like numbers, you resonate with numbers, you could say, I choose number 1 means men, number 2 means women, number 3 means, you could come up with your own code, and this means this is this color, that's that color, this is that shape. You can make up your own thing. But because I have a code that I've been working with for some time, that's what I go by. And that's what they show me. This is what my higher self is showing me, and your higher self are showing us, is what is appearing.
People usually have stress. When they have stress, like, the shoulders.
That's usually, for me, that's the weight of the world on your shoulders, when it's on the
Right.
shoulders. Or feeling like yoked. Or feeling like, because oxen,
Right.
they got that big, heavy burden. You can think really outside the box. You can think of, wasn't it nice when I was a kid and I was carried on somebody's shoulders? I mean, it could be any of that. So when I'm working on somebody like this, I usually continue to just tell them the hints and clues, and we figure it out. We figure it out together. It's like figuring out a mystery. I give the clues, and usually the other person, like you did, will catch on to what it is. They'll know what that is. And then when that happens, the symptom disappears. Or the color disappears, or whatever it is I'm looking at, just totally disappears. That's my confirmation that we've hit it. That we know what the issue is, and that was what it is. So now the next step is I'm asking, what does she need to know about this issue? And that's where you get into you have to practice your intuitive skills a little bit, because that can be the tough part. So what would you say, what is holding you back?
I don't want to go back. I don't want to do that job.
You don't enjoy the job.
Well, I enjoy the job on some levels, but there are so many levels I don't. Like, they actually, this one job I'm thinking
So
about.
the parents are worse than the children.
Well,
which is
where I was
sad.
teaching at 95%, economically disadvantaged for 10 years. So, anyway, that was really tricky. But, what was I going let's say.
So you feeling like your only choice is to go back and do that job?
No. Actually, I feel like I shouldn't even do that, but I feel pressure to do that for
Okay.
myself.
Okay.
So
So
I know
really-
that I need not.
Okay.
What I've discovered today, and like, I'm thinking, I'm worrying too far in the future.
Okay.
I'm not thinking about today. I'm not staying in the moment at all, and that's what's built up.
Okay. So also, there's another element that I'll introduce here too, is that all suffering comes from lack, a belief in lack. Lack actually doesn't exist, but we think it does. And when you think in terms of lack, I won't have this unless I do that, then you kind of really limit yourself. But as long as you feel like, hey, I have every option in the world, I have all the freedom in the world, I have every opportunity awaiting for me. And as long as you keep your vibration high, as long as you stay really positive, you're going to be drawn right toward that
Instead of being limited.
in an accelerated way.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So this pressure is more about you releasing that pressure you're putting on yourself. It's a misalignment with your true self. It's out of alignment with who you really are. So it's ow, okay, feels better, I'm here. And then ow, feels better, I'm here.
Yeah.
So it would be good when you're feeling that pain to recognize that it's self-inflicted pressure, and give those details to your higher self and let it go. And close your eyes for a few moments and thank that feeling. Thank you so much because you're talking to your higher self. Thank you so much for supporting me this way, for helping me to understand that I'm pressuring myself. Thank you so much. And out of that gratitude and in that being in that presence, you're going to find it's going to dissolve. If you get really present in it, I'm very grateful for it, it's going to dissolve. So right now, okay, so what I did is I took a look to see if there was, like, sometimes when you take something out, which it dissolved on its own, sometimes I have to pull it out, but yours dissolved on its own because we addressed it. Then sometimes there's a little bit of a hole there, and I don't know how to describe it, but it's kind of like if you took an invisible ball out and there's like a hole there now. That tells me that this is an issue that goes back to childhood, which just gives you another clue that I've been believing this for a long time. It's been there, it's a long embedded thing. So I have to get more in the habit of getting aligned again, breaking that habit. So I saw that was taken out, and that's why they showed that to me, is to show that it's been going on. It's going to be a habit to break. So just repetitive, getting present in the moment and letting those details go. And then just following your greatest excitement in every given moment as you go forward. What excites you to think of? Maybe it's, okay, so this is another thing. If you're looking for another job seekers sometimes think of that as drudgery. But if you look at it and say, I'm kind of excited at the thought that there could be a whole other career for me. There could be a whole thing I have never explored. This is, if it excites you, if you can get yourself excited, then you can be in that excitement energy while you're looking for other options and other things that could happen out there. So, but then you're staying in that state of excitement about something that was drudgery before. So you have to kind of change your perspective sometimes to make yourself excited about it. If it's drudgery, don't bother, don't do it. Go do something that's really fun. Maybe even talk to somebody who's a friend who is a career counselor. Because that sounds more fun than sitting on the internet, and doing that. Unless the other sounds fun. Whichever sounds more fun, that's what our spirit is calling us to do and calling us toward. So that's how you address that pain. And then what you can do, and first of all, now I'm just going to seal it. Now this is my Qigong training part. You don't have to do this, but I pat it 9 times because it seals it, and I believe it reprograms your neurotransmitters so that you then have the ability to go in and have another choice. It gives you like a delayed option. I mean, it allows you to think before you react automatically, and so it's kind of helping you break the habit part. Okay? So how does your hip feel? Or how does that area
It's
feel
better.
now?
It's still tender to the touch.
Okay,
But
on a
it's better.
scale of 1 to 10, how does it feel?
We're just sitting here probably 3.
Okay. So it's still a 3, that means we haven't addressed everything, right? Because sometimes we go, well, we still have the pain, though. So now should I take a pill? Now can I take a pill? Now can I go to the doctor? I still have it. No, it just means that there's more things that you need to take a look at from that. Okay? So now I see black. Now I see a small black ball. It's quite a bit smaller. And it feels like it's kind of hard, kind of like charcoal, but it's perfectly round, in the exact same place. And what does charcoal do? Charcoal starts fires. Black is negativity. So, and it's also about kind of moving forward. Do you have maybe, what do you feel in that situation? What do you feel? Do you feel? Oh, this is the parents, isn't it?
What?
You weren't getting along with the parents?
No, not necessarily. She was just saying that because that's like one of the. I think if we had more responsible parents, we wouldn't have the problems we have. Period. In school.
Right. Oh, I've just been told we have 5 minutes. So.
Yeah, because I mean, when you
And I shouldn't have interrupted, I just
No,
know, because we've been
it's
friends for
alright.
a while, and I just know that, and I
keep
experienced that too, because I'm
hearing
in.
you need a leap of faith of yourself.
Yeah.
You know, if you don't like that job, don't do it. What do you love? Do that.
Mhm.
Right. I know.
But you have to leap on it and take a chance.
Yes.
That will be your initial excitement, and because taking a leap off a cliff, it's going to bring your adrenaline online.
Yeah.
For sure. Don't do that.
Yes, I know.
But don't do a real cliff, okay?
Right,
We're talking
right.
about a different kind of, imaginary cliff.
Yeah.
So, what were you saying though?
I was just saying, I can relate to a point, because I'm a property manager for an apartment community, and I see, when there's irresponsible parents. and,
Yeah,
you know,
right.
it's like nerve-wracking, because it's
So,
like,
I think part of this has to do with your fear of going forward because you're afraid to address people like that again. You're afraid to
Well,
get.
I mean, it's not just. I mean, I have to talk for hours. There's all kinds of things in the public school system, but
Okay.
you know,
But
really, the
yeah.
discipline problems. When you don't get anything at home, you have 6 of them in the classroom, and they
Right.
get worse every year, and you don't get help from support from the administration. No, I'm just done. I was
Okay.
done. But
Okay. So I want you to just. You're gonna. You learn to embrace these people, these negative people in your life, or people who have these traits that you're talking about that really upset you. Learn to see them differently. Learn to see them as tests. Learn to see them as gifts. Learn to see them as options. Are these the types of people you want to have in your life? And then you're like, no, I really don't. So okay, let that go. And then you go in a direction where it does feel good. So that's what it's all about, is options. Okay, so how does it feel now?
it's about the same.
Okay. All right. So for the sake of just having a few minutes, and I have a booth right here at the foot of the stairs, and I'm $20 for 20 minutes right now. You can basically do this at home. Just visualize that your body's in front of you, and you can scan your body, and you can ask your higher self, what is it that's going on? And if you know the issue, picture your stomach, or picture your heart, and just say, and look for any colors or any symbols or anything that can give you a clue as to what's going on. And then you just ask your higher self, what is this about? What can I do? How can I change my perspective? And you have a pad of paper and a pen there. And then just sit quietly and listen for those answers. And when you hit it right on and you explore it and you heal it, the pain will dissolve. It's kind of the gist of it. And you can train yourself to do this. You just have to set up your own code system and colors and all that so they know how to communicate and what to communicate to you.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, you're welcome. And I can continue to work on that over at the booth if you want. Does anybody have any other questions about what I've described? Because I think he's gonna tell us. He's gonna cut us off when we're at the mark. So.
I had a thought when you said it was charcoal, and you're like, what do you do with that? Well,
Uh-huh.
burning's not the only option.
Okay.
Charcoal can also be used
A
for
filter.
toxins from the body.
Yeah. Yeah. That's good.
So,
You can also draw with it.
Draw with it. Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah, I was thinking
You
about
can draw
the
with
drawing
it.
It drove it, but I first got like there's toxins in the charcoal is trying to absorb it. Let it, but then burn it.
Yeah, let me
thing.
share. Yeah, that's good.
If you overdose or something,
really
or
good.
get poisoned.
It's what it means to you, and it's your own interpretation of it.
Because your
Right.
situation has had so many toxic elements,
Yeah.
and you're carrying that. So if the charcoal's in there, that's my first thought. I was like, no, it's pulling.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Sounds
That is
good.
beautiful.
Cool. All right. Well,
You don't
thanks, you
need that crap
guys.
anymore. Okay,
No,
go away.
believe me, I know.
Do it for
I
myself.
know. But that's where it started. I know that's where it started.
Yeah.
It was that fight that I've been having with myself about all that.
Well, cool.
Thank you.
And what a blessing.
I know you're hungry.
You know, that if we didn't have that pain, then how would we ever find these answers? How would we ever know? I mean, it's really such a gift to have pain.
I think this
So-
one is don't use them all when you're past 40.
All right, well, thanks, guys.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.